And we're back. Okay, so this is a pre-recorded video as previous attempts to run the audio have failed spectacularly. But now we are just in the final steps of getting to the master rank. As you remember, on the last video, we had quite a number of losses after that spectacular win with the Gaius trio. However, we are now running back with a new card on our hands, which is the Hyper Psychic Riser. Yeah, it's the new card. But okay. So we started off defending. We want to make sure that we always defend if we're going first when it comes to this deck, because it can be quite scary if you don't have the castle with you to protect you from big monsters. But now the Clock Resonator is just going to absorb, take that damage. So the Clock Resonator is really good at that, as well as it prepares you for a Synchro next turn if you don't have any other Synchro monsters. So we draw another Resonator with this one, and okay, we have pretty good opportunity right here. So we summon the Gren Maju, follow up with the Psychic Wielder, and then we can easily go ahead and go for a Synchro. We went with the Goyo Predator. Now, it's a card that I currently don't have, but we are able to get that with the Sector Security skill, which gives you 2 Goyo monsters at the start of every battle in your extra deck. So it gives it around a total of 8 extra deck monsters. Okay, 2400 attack there. That should put him on the back pedal a little bit. Now, the thing about this one though is Lightsworns can be quite scary because you can easily go ahead and mount an offensive. Solar Recharge, you're able to draw cards and throw cards onto the graveyard, which is what Lightsworns are supposed to do. They sacrifice themselves for the greater good, supposedly. But for now, we have a trap card that is more for intimidation. For the most part, the trap cards here, we only have Rebirth of Parshat, and it's only for intimidating. Okay, so with this one here, he's taking quite a long time. But this is kind of gives us more pressure, gives him more pressure because of the timer. Okay, so summon Lumina. Is able to summon a monster from the graveyard by discarding another Lightsworn monster from their hand. So they're going to take out Felice for this one in defense position, or in attack position. I can go ahead and switch that to defense, I think. I just use it as a tribute because it's a tuner, so it allows them to summon Michael, the Arch Lightsworn. Now, this this card actually is able to banish cards from the field, so it's most likely going to banish one of my monsters. With this one, by spending 1,000 points. So summons our defender with a clock. He does know I have another one. But then afterwards, just uses. You can also use the Arch Lightsworn Michael here to shuffle your Lightsworn monsters back to the deck, so that allows you to be able to cycle cards that you've already thrown away and get 300 life points for each card that you put back. So it's like a refresh. Actually, it's a good idea if you're going to simulate kind of like time travel or reversal effects on Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, that's another crossover video waiting to happen. Okay, so now summoning Lila, you're able to destroy trap cards on the field, and you're also just able to throw out cards from your graveyard to your deck. Okay, so we're in a bit of a pickle right here because we don't have much of a defense right now, except for the Clock Resonator. And if we're not careful, the Clock Resonator is... Oh, nice. Now, Desynchro. For the most part, Desynchro isn't really used that much unless you're looking to kind of like use one effect of a Synchro monster and then use another Synchro monster to attack. But with this one, it can also be used on the offensive if your opponent has a full field and they are able to, and they have a Synchro, because if you desynchro an opponent's monster, but they don't have enough space to summon all of the material monsters that they used. The synchro monster is put back to the extra deck, so it doesn't activate the arch Lightsworn's effect there. But at the same time, you're not able to get any monsters back on the field. Okay, so Lila's going to destroy the castle, which is very unfortunate. That would have been a pretty good way for us to be able to get things back. But hey, this is gonna be, I think, the first battle where we're actually at a deck card number advantage in comparison to our opponent. Okay, so we're able to get the Clock Resonator back there. Michael's back onto the extra deck, and we don't allow him to heal. Oh man, that is the face of frustration right there. I'm sorry, Kaylin. Okay, so what is he going to do now? By the way, the music we have right here for you, these light electronica beats right here, are brought to us by Incompetech. Kevin MacLeod, makes most of these, or if not all of the music, from Incompetech website, and allows us to be able to get that without by only attributing him using Creative Commons, which is very rare nowadays. Now that even just a slight bit of music from a known song or known group can get you copyright striked, which is a real bummer if you're just starting out, especially if you're trying to just get yourself out there. But with Incompetech and the royalty-free music they provide, we can go ahead and go for various themes and be able to. By the way, this is not sponsored. This is not sponsored in any way. Just like those guys, I just like the work that they do. Okay, that's an Angel of Zera right there, which took out our Clock Resonator, but he doesn't have any cards in the deck, so that means we can just skip our turn, and that's a win. Opponent ran out of cards, and that is game right there. Okay, on to our next game right here. We're dealing with the Elemental Lords, especially Molyneux with this one. Okay, Molyneux has a quick effect, which is very annoying. We can put one of your face-up monsters face-down position. So that one there, we're able to destroy Molyneux using the Wielder after summoning the Samurai Destroyer, but he also flips down our Samurai Destroyer as well, which is kind of unfortunate because I really wanted to attack there. Okay, so now we summon Glyph in order to destroy the back row. Just pop that back row there. Okay, but I think we're gonna get popped, as I remember. And yep, that is a Floodgate Trap Hole, which means you're getting flipped face down and you're not getting back up. Whoever invented those traps right there, well, they're really terrible people. And yeah, Floodgate Trap Hole is indeed kind of like a medieval trap. It usually stems for just kind of like putting in trap doors over moats, so that if any invading forces come by, you can go ahead and throw them down the moat and back outside. So that's a pretty good defense right there, especially if you also put oil on the moat and light it on fire once people fall. Speaking of fire, that's the invoked Purgatrio, summoned by Alistair the Invoker. That's another very notorious engine that we have to. Well, I use it some of the time, but I don't have enough pieces to make it workable. But still, the invocation spell is useful for many other things, especially if you can't get the cards that you need out onto the field in order to fuse them. Yeah, invocation, it works well with that. Okay, so he takes back Alistair, and that's another invocation. He's not done yet. Yep, Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, he's gonna summon the Kaliga. Nope, that's another Purgatrio. Okay, that's two Purgatrio right there. Now, earlier today, he used this first Molyneux to attack while the castle was up. So I kind of feel that he hasn't learned his lesson yet. Let's go ahead and see here. And of course, buff it up to 3700. Can attack all monsters once per turn, and then after it can also do piercing damage, which is really dangerous. But doesn't have destruction protection, and you're out. The mall isn't open for you for the moment. There's the quarantine and all, so you're not getting in. Okay, just three more duels, and we are getting to Master Rank 1. This next duel is pretty interesting here with Luna. We are fighting Dark Magician girls and Ice Barrier spellcasters. So yeah, Magicalized Fusion, it's Dark Magician girl. That means they have Quintet Magician. Now Quintet Magician is scary because it's a 4500 point beater, but also has another effect wherein if you use five different named spellcasters, it can also wipe everything in the field. Unfortunately, he only had two types of spellcasters on the graveyard there. Okay, another thing. Quintet Magician is not affected by destruction effects, so it can bypass the mall. So basically, it has the employee's key card. Okay, now here's an interesting hand that we have. So you have the mall, but can't protect it. But you do have enemy controller. It didn't say that the Quintet Magician was immune to spell effects, just destruction effects. So that means we can use Econ to take that Quintet Magician and turn it onto its master. So we summon the Princessin. I don't know why it's Princessin, honestly. Maybe it sounds cool, I guess. But we also use our speed spell in order to summon another monster, in this case Glyph, so that we have our secondary attacker. Use Econ to take the Quintet Magician, sacrificing the princess, and then afterwards just attacking. That's our firepower there. Perfect. Even the effect of the Samurai Destroyer is not going to work because we're not activating any cards. Just using the 4500 point beat down there. Okay, little lag. Okay, and Glyph for the win. And we are just 2 games away from our master rank. Okay, next one up here. This is kind of tricky. They're defensive. We're also defensive, so it's kind of like waiting who's gonna budge. This is the same as if you're playing Mayweather against, say, who's another defensive fighter when it comes to boxing? Yeah, it's 2 defensive fighters are just waiting. Okay, Floodgate onto the princess. They already banished our rebirth earlier, so no counters there. And another Floodgate. Wow, that's just, well, cheese. Okay, now here's the thing. We have 3 monsters right here. We have Glyph, so we can go ahead and get the castle. But the castle doesn't have a defense because we got ourselves floodgated when we put in our carriage. So that puts us at a bit of difficulty. It's still a 3-step process there to remove that and then attack one of those. But if he has any piercers, that's gonna be, well, difficult for us. Okay, I was so sure that it was just going to destroy the castle there, but they drew a card. Okay, they drew a card. Okay, just pass the turn. You should have just destroyed that. Okay, and now here it is. Castle, banish 10 cards. We only need 7 for our Chaos End. Now, Chaos End is similar to kind of like Final Destiny and all that. Destroys all monsters in the field. Now you summon Grenmaju and just go for the offensive. No counters there, and that is 2 wins. Just one more for the master. Now, just to be clear, I did lose 5 times after that match, but this one here is the big one. Okay, so first of all, always make sure to hop on that castle whenever possible. That is our engine. That is how we make our dough with this card deck. Okay. Then afterwards, we go with the pumpkin carriage defense for that, and then we have our decoy here with the princess. Now, as long as they don't try to destroy the princess or try any other offensive, then we use that. Now, we use Miracle Synchro Fusion here for 2 things: either to get Gaia's Trio or to get it destroyed from the field so that we can draw 1 card. So just put in there, kind of like just bait it out. Ooh, Sonic Bird. So they're doing rituals. And they're doing Vendreads. Okay. Vendreads are pretty interesting. The Slayer, the Battle Lord, and the Executor. Really good story there as well. There's a lot of kind of like analysis on the story of Vendreads. It's basically if you ever saw Marvel Zombies and Spawn, those are is basically the entire story of this. He's actually Spawn, if you look at the story. Oh, okay. He attacked. That's what happens when you don't read cards. I guess most people don't get to kind of like play with Strombergs that much. They're not really. They're kind of risky because of how many cards you throw away. But with this one right here, it just works fine for us. So he attacks once. Okay. He attacks another time. Oh. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, so our turn. Just for safety, we go with Parshat, just in case he has something that he wants to activate next turn, maybe another ritual. But for now, we are going to go with Wielder. Wielder, we can just go ahead and special summon that if you have a level 3 monster in the field. And with this one here, we summon the Samurai Destroyer. As long as there's monsters in the field, Samurai Destroyer can negate or does not allow activation of effects. Okay, we don't want to destroy the carriage just in case, but we attack and no resistance there. Okay, wow, that music was just in time. And now that is our final match for the round. That should give us the rank up. And there we go, Master Rank 1. That helps us finish this whole event and allows us to get that credited on our title slate, and PvPs. So here is the deck that we built. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen this deck many times before. The Grand Maju set was actually introduced to me by a video by DK, the Duel Links meta. Be sure to check him out as well. But thank you very much. This is actually pretty good when it comes to just summoning level 6 and level 7s. Of course, we got just Parshat there for just emergencies. Now, I have a lot to say when it comes to PvP duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! But even if you're just going to be starting out, do not let yourself be intimidated by this game. It's a pretty fun game. Whether you play free or you like to spend your money out there, there's something there for you in this game. So it's best to check. It would be good to check it out. Once again, my name is Recaru. Thank you so much again for joining me today, and we'll catch you on the next video.